Jim Byrd, Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate.
There we go. Hey everybody, thank you for coming on this beautiful Wyoming windy day. Yeah, and you know what is even more cool? Is to be playing in the round. I feel like a rock star up here, okay? Like I should be doing, or something. But it's really, really nice to see a whole group of people who are like-minded, that I don't have to go back to square one to talk about why I'm running, what we're about. So I'm going to jump all the way to the advanced form here, because I know you Democrats are capable of keeping up with me. So, for those of you who don't know, why am I in this race? Well, when I left the legislature, which is a whole nother story, it was like I'm never coming back into politics, you guys can go pound sand. And for the most part, that was the deal. But I was at home one day and I saw a little blurb on the TV about somebody wanting to give away, she said sell, but it really is a giveaway, public lands. And public lands in the state of Wyoming, let me tell you, if we were not the only state to be affected top down by this, we would be alone. And here's how it works. Most of you know public lands because you go out there and run around, you go do a little bit of fishing and maybe a little bit of hunting. But public lands are tied to the hip to our ag industry. There's ranchers, there's farmers who get supplementary leases for their operations to grow extra hay, whatever they grow on the farm side, and run extra beef. Without these acreages, they might not be able to make their payment. So it is really calculated into their bottom line. And we are Wyoming. We are basically an agricultural state. We take pride in that. And how dare you kick those people when they're down. So that's one of the things about public lands. The other is what I touched on a minute ago. Anybody in here know what our second largest industry in the state is? Tourism. $5.5 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars last year. 55,000 direct and indirect jobs in that industry. And they are all tied directly to public lands, because those people make their living on guiding, fishing, and all sorts of other things in the backcountry, hunting and things like that. So I'm telling you that when somebody grabs their family back there in New Jersey and they say, kids, get in the SUV, we're going to Wyoming. And I know he's not bringing them out here to see the cool engineering that's in the mines up in Gillette, or the cool engineering that are in those pump jacks out on the Pinedale Anticline. They're driving all the way here to see one thing, Bambi and Boo Boo. And then when Dad can get a minute, he wants to do some of that world-class trout fishing in some of the most pristine waters on the planet. And you know the reason that exists? Because we have a relationship with our extractive industries. And it's not a, oh, by the way relationship. It's these are the rules. We'll let you do as much as you can, but you've got to reclamate this land and make it look like you were never there. And they are good about that. So that makes us not just good stewards of the land. We are the best stewards of the land. And that's why they come here and spend their money. So, keeping that in mind is one of our Wyoming-based things that we do. When I saw that ad, I just kind of levitated in the air and almost threw something at my brand new TV. So, I got with some people who are smarter than me, and they said, we'll figure it out, we'll see if you're viable. And an interesting thing happened along the way of that. Anybody know how many people did not vote in the last election? 170,000 people did not vote. Now I can tell you, right here, my win number is really just a small part of that. So you take my numbers from my last run, and you take this few other things and you mix them in with that. And you know what? There's one other thing. Her undesirables. And when we calculated that in, we were within the margin of error. So at that point it's, when are we going? Not why or where, but when are we going? And so it was very easy to start this. I surrounded myself with some of the best people in the country. Right back there in the white with the bandana on is Madison Shanley. She is my campaign manager. Rock star extraordinaire. Please take a minute if you have one and talk to Madison. She is awesome. They keep me directed, they keep me pointed, and they keep my messaging. Jill, who writes for me, she's my comms director. She's not here yet. But when I get stumped or we have something that comes up, she's the person that hammers out the language so it all makes sense. And let me tell you how good she is. I was driving from Riverton. I have to think because I've been everywhere in the state. I was driving from Riverton to Casper. So we've got about 20 minutes of cell service outside of that. There was a thing that came up about them wanting to rename interstate, well, let me see, wanting to rename 287 to Trump Highway and make 287 a 4-lane highway. So I don't know if you guys know distances there, but before I got past Shoshone, she had already written the press release, read it back to me on the phone, and I had approved it, and it was going out for distribution. That's how fast we react. And so that is a way that we are doing our campaign. That is the way that we will do work in Washington, D.C. Because the other thing that's got me here is we are not being represented by our 3 elected in our federal delegation. Not at all. And they will tell you, yes, we are, we do something, and we're doing all sorts of things. You know what? They show up every time it's an election cycle with things telling you that we did this, we did that. My opponent is touting that she brought $500 million to the state of Wyoming for health care. No, she did not. No, she did not. That was already baked into the bill, and she voted against all the prior versions of it. So now she's trying to take credit for something she didn't even support in the beginning. But she knows that that is a loser for her, and so she's flipped. The same thing as you'll hear her say that she supports public lands. When that issue came out, she literally ran to the guy's office and got a copy of this. I know, I do, that she will sell the land out from under your feet if she has the opportunity to make a buck on the backside. And this is a personal experience from when I was in the legislature. She was a lobbyist for a group that wanted to develop land down there in the Front Range, Colorado. They needed water because that was a restriction that Colorado put on them for developing. So she got the developers convinced that they could put a pipeline, basically a straw, in the Green River Basin and take water out of Wyoming and pump it to the Front Range for housing. That had to come to the legislature because it was a statutory change. Fortunately, it came to my committee on minerals, and I got to see the bill before it got to the public. I went around and told everybody that sat on that committee, if you vote for this, you will see me in the hallway. And I'll see you come campaign time because I will make sure somebody campaigns against you. It is against our basic principles to give away water, our water. And you see where we're at right now. We need every drop of our water, and they're back going after the Green River again. With the downstream compacts. They're trying to rewrite the downstream compacts and screw Wyoming over. And our delegation is doing what? Sitting on their thumbs, saying, sure, go ahead. Not me. I will be right there in their face. I'll make sure that if they get water out of Wyoming, it's over my dead body. And I feel that adamant about it. So that's just two of the other things that when you hear them talk about my opponent, remember that she is very good about telling you things that aren't true. And she will do that thinking that you are not smart enough to do the research. But we are Democrats, and we know that. And here's what we're going to do. As Democrats, I'm calling every single one of you out. I used to say back in the beginning, and Joe's over there, he knows this. This is you, this is 4 of your friends, all right? This is you, you get up in the morning, you take care of yourself. I want you to drive 4 of your friends to the polls. This is, we're in the bell lap, we're in the final lap. We're doubling down on that. It's not 4 friends, it's 10 friends now, okay? And what you do with those 10 friends, you make sure they're registered, and you make sure that they get to the polls and vote. You make sure that they're informed so they make a good decision at the polls, and take them kicking, drag them, screaming, whatever. I'll be right behind you telling everybody, don't matter, don't worry about it, it's under control. So, this is what I need out of you, because this is going to be an extremely difficult race. I need everybody here to go out, and by the way, don't be afraid to talk to Republicans, because we have them on their heels. And if you don't believe that, there was a group called the Freedom Caucus who just got their butts handed to them in the election. Mostly by their own party. So we have people out there that are persuadable. So I'm deputizing everybody in this room. Go out and find a Republican and irritate them. Ruin their day. Tell them that we are not like Mondavi. We are Wyoming Democrats. We are moderately conservative. We want public lands. We want freedom of speech. We do not want a private militarized force directed by the president coming into our state and dropping people into black site prisons. So, that's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, well, oh, I almost forgot. We have a new thing that we've just been working on. So, I talk about being from Wyoming. My family homesteaded here about 1862. So, when the rest of these guys show up, I love that all those guys in the candidate forums tell me they're from Wyoming and all of this, and some have been here less than 10 years. It's like, really? I got old rodeo tickets, okay? I got Taylor Swift tickets that are older than you, okay, from CFD. So, our new pitch, and everybody, we got here in 1862. I'm throwing it down to everybody within earshot. Come to our website, find us. The new value is $18.62. I would like you to donate to my campaign, and donate that today. So, thank you, Madison. Thank you to the rest of the team. And thank all of you Democrats for showing up today.